Hello everyone, in today's video I'm going to talk about the new Imaginarium theater that just reset today as I'm recording this. I'm going to be playing it on stream tomorrow, but I don't know when I'm posting this video, so might be today or tomorrow, so maybe I'm playing right now on stream. This new Imaginarium theater, the elements are Electro, Cryo, and Anemo. So the opening characters are Yae, Kuki, Ganyu, Leila, Yume, Mizuki, and Tsukuro. So pretty good cast, honestly. Like overall, all the characters are pretty nice. Mizuki could be maybe the worst one in this case. Actually, Kuki might be the worst one in this case because in Cryo Anemo, like she doesn't really do a whole lot, but we'll see. So yeah, not the best reactions, Electro, Cryo, and Anemo, but as usual with the Imaginarium Theater, you can really not care that much about the reactions. Like the buffs from the Imaginarium Theater are gonna be insane anyways, and you will have more than enough damage if you get the right buffs. In terms of bosses, we have the Jade Plume Terror Shroom level 90 on the first boss, the PMA level 92 on the second boss. Kind of cringe to put the PMA when you have Electro Cryo, but I mean, Electro Cryo is kind of for physical, so like you can't really do any crazy stuff here, but we'll see. Magukenki and then the Swanee. So basically, you want to use some Electro at the start for the first 1 and 2, basically. Magukenki, I mean, for the first 3 bosses, actually, you want to focus on Electro, and you could use Cryo a little bit as well, of course, but Electro DPS are going to be the one that's going to do the most damage. Magukenki has Anemo Res, so preferably no Anemo DPS. Same for Swanee, Anemo Res, so here you really want to bring Cryo against the Swanee as well, to be able to like break the boss and do the mechanic. But overall, not crazy difficult bosses. Like, I mean, we've seen these bosses for 10 years already. Yeah, not a bad lineup, I would say. In terms of blessings, this time we have Superconduct Blessing, Storm Gale, and Frost Wool. So Superconduct, when you proc Superconduct at the start, like the first level of the blessing, basically decreases cryo and electro res of the enemy by a decent amount, and physical res by a decent amount as well. So maybe it's time to bring back your physical Zhongli or physical Shengling. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, you get extra cryo electro damage basically with the red shred and physical damage up to 6 stacks. So 18 red shred for the elements and 36 for the physical. So it's pretty nice. It's pretty good damage increase. Okay, now after you take the first one, on the right side, you will gain even more cryo and electro damage for each of the stacks that you had here. So 6 stacks times 8, so up to 48 cryo and electro damage bonus, which is pretty nice. It's pretty good, honestly. So a ton of damage, extra damage. And after that, you gain even more damage, some elemental energy generation, some crit damage. So the blessings are insane. The blessings are quite insane. I guess the last ones are not really that important, but it gives some extra. It deals a bit more damage as well. So, but the damage bonuses you get from those blessings are pretty crazy on either side. So yeah. Same here on the Storm Gale one. So Electro Anemo. When you Electro Swell, you will receive a stack of Wind Blessing Electro. And basically what happens is that the damage dealt by characters triggering the swell will increase by 80%. And each time they receive the blessing, you will gain some energy back, and you can have up to 3 stacks. So very good for like Kazuha or Mizuki or stuff like that will swirl a lot and will increase their damage. It will increase the damage quite a bit. So now on the right side, the blessing is actually super fun. Storm Gale Basic Bolt Leap. So once you get the buff from the first blessing, what happens is that you can jump higher, similar to like when you fight the boss that makes you jump, or like with if you had Shao or Xianyun burst activated, and then you can plunge attack, and then your plunge attacks will deal some extra damage, AoE electro damage. So basically you can plunge with anyone, which is pretty fun. And then here you get some red shred, some damage bonus, some energy back. Pretty good. Here you get some plunging attack damage for each stack. So I think 3 stacks, it's gonna be up to 54 54 plunging attack damage bonus, so pretty fun. Pretty fun. And then here you gain also some damage bonus. Here, increase the damage dealt by party members elemental burst by 18% for each stack, so also 54. So the left side is a bit more like burst damage and stuff like that. This is pretty cool as well. So yeah, pretty cool blessing, tons of damage bonus. And then lastly, the cryo anemo buffs, basically also the swirl stuff as well, and you gain some crit damage bonus. Here you gain some stamina back, and you can sprint and leave some ice mist while sprinting. So, and it groups the enemy and deal anemo damage. So it's pretty fun. Basically, you run and then you group the enemies while running. Okay, they added some very cool mechanics. I haven't done a run yet, but I'll showcase them a little bit after. But that's pretty cool. That's some cool mechanics, honestly. I think that's the beauty of Imaginarium Theater, is that they can really have a lot of fun with the buffs and stuff. And I think that's the first time they add some buffs like that that actually changes your gameplay, plunge and sprint. So that is pretty cool. And then here you gain some extra damage, you gain more ice mist or stuff like that. So that's pretty cool blessings. That here, when you proc the Storm Gale reaction, which is Electro plus Electro Swirl, basically. So you apply Electro on the enemy, you swirl with Kazuha, and you can see here I can just plunge for free, basically. And it deals some damage to the boss when I plunge. It deals some electro damage. So pretty fun changing the gameplay of a character with those blessings. I think it's kind of cool. Now with the Ice Mist mechanic, when you proc Cryo Swirl, you can see that when I run, I think there's a cooldown a little bit when you try to do this, but when I run here, you see, boom, it procs like a little vortex next to my character that will group the enemies and deal some damage a little bit. So you can group the enemies even more without even using Kazuha. Like here I'm grouping them with my skill, but then here, boom, I group them with like a mini vortex. And yeah, it's pretty nice. It's pretty fun. Gives some new mechanics, new gameplay mechanics. Now, in terms of characters, special guest stars, you have Nahida. So if you get the cookie, you can still do some Hyper Bloom a little bit with like the Nahida and the Xingqiu. You get Neuvillette. Neuvillette in this case is not gonna be crazy, I would say. I wouldn't necessarily recommend Neuvillette, even though like it can still be okay. You don't really have a lot of synergies here, so I guess you can do triple cryo with like Escoffier, Silali, someone else, but it's not really the most optimal for Neuvillette. I guess you can do Neuvillette Auron. Actually, yeah, you can do Neuvillette Auron with like Kazuha, and then last one can be Silali or something like that. So it still gives you some options. And then after that, well, you got all the cryo DPSs. Unfortunately, you can't use Skirk very well because no Hydro, or you can use the Xingqiu, but yeah. It reduces the options for Skirk. It reduces the options for Inefa since you don't have much Hydro either. So not that great actually for some of the characters that have more restrictions. But other than that, I mean, you can still, with the blessings anyways, like you will have more than enough damage. Still have some pretty good characters. Rosoya, Fischl, Kaya are going to be pretty good. You can even do some physical stuff with Eula, Mika. Hongyun is also a pretty good character. Yona, Sarah is pretty good. You can still do Raiden with like Mono Electro or something like that. Risley can still perform pretty well by himself. You can do Chaska, even though the Chaska is not going to get like that much value. She can swirl a decent amount, so maybe she can use the blessings quite a bit. And then after that, yeah, it's kind of, you can use kind of whatever you want. Make sure you have some cryo characters that you save for the last boss to make sure you can use the mechanic. And also you can always invite a friend character, so don't forget about that. If someone has like a C6 or whatever, it can carry your run pretty chill. So yeah, at the very beginning, picked some characters as usual, and I think after like 2 or 3 stages, honestly, I would start stacking. The Storm Gale seems pretty fun, but you want to get as strong as possible for the last boss, which is going to be the hardest, of course. So what I would recommend is after stage 1, after stage like 2 or 3, and you got like a few characters already, start stacking up super conduct blessings, and then you basically you choose between Stormgale or Frostquall afterwards. I think the Stormgale is fun because it makes you plunge, but in terms of overall efficiency, Superconduct combined with Frostquall is gonna be the best for like overall performance in the run. Cheat code for the Imaginarium Theater, as usual, is to pick the rooms with the rune monsters. Those are the easiest to destroy every time. Like, it's so freaking easy. It's actually not even kind of a joke, let's be honest. When it comes down to the first boss, honestly, anything works. It's pretty weak, so if you have an Electro DPS, it's a little bit better, or if you have some Electro characters, it's a little bit better, but so you can proc the passive of the boss. But you can see here, like, I barely did anything, and the HP is melting, so you got like already the start of some buffs, of some blessings. It's gonna be pretty easy to take that down, and you don't really have much to do. Same when it comes down to the battle defense sequence. The rune monsters, or like machine monsters, are generally going to be the easiest ones. The Eremites are not that bad technically. They're okay. You can keep the aggro pretty well. I wouldn't recommend too much unless you have like good characters. Of course, you have Kazuha or stuff like that for this stage. You can definitely go for this one to get a bit of extra rewards, but otherwise, to get an easy way, the Eremites or the rune monsters, or like the machines, are going to be the easiest ones. You can see here, you can take the aggro pretty easily against these guys, and they don't really hit the, they don't really have time to hit the monolith, so it's like, okay, I mean, they will still hit it a little bit, but see here, we took 8%. Took a little bit of damage. You should focus try to focus the tank one, because this one, the range one, is gonna attack you anyways if you're a little bit closer. Where the tank one, if you don't take the aggro, it's gonna start attacking the monolith. And you should try to alternate a little bit so you can keep the aggro on both as much as possible. Okay, I played a little bit bad here, but not too bad. Also, not having a lot of damage in this stage especially is actually pretty good. So you can also remember that you can bring your worst team here, just so you keep the aggro on the enemies and you kill them slowly so they don't attack the monolith. And the timer goes down, and then it's basically free even if you have 0 damage. All right, now for the primordial perpetual mechanical array, I keep saying primordial, I don't know why. I think so many bosses have the primordial in their name. For the mechanical array, I would recommend, if you have the Nahida, to save the Nahida +1 hydro character in Electro. For this boss, Hyperbloom is probably going to be your best way to kill this boss as fast as possible. Now, after that, if you already got a few blessings, buffs, you can basically bring any type of DPS. Maybe I'll even do... you can do Aggravate as well if you save the Nahida, or you can just do Electro with an Emo, and anything can work, just not physical. And yeah, if you don't have a lot of blessing, Hyperbloom is probably going to be your best option. But I think here I'll do Chlorine actually with Sarah and Sucrose. This guy stalls a little bit, so it's not the best boss for this type of kind of cringe boss, but I feel like the HP this time around is not that high, and they give you more time. I'm not sure if they give you more time than usual, but it feels a bit easier. Some of the stages feel a bit easier. Boom, beam. Now the Magu-Kenki, I mean, it's the same Magu-Kenki as usual. You can just bring some solo targets, single target, T. Hyper Bloom, if you still have Hyper Bloom, it's gonna be just fine as well. And yeah, he stalls a little bit at the start, and then after you bring him down 70% HP, he stalls a little bit more actually, and then after that you can just perma DPS pretty fast. Do not look at my Nahida damage, okay, but other than that, oh my god, what are you doing? Once you get to the last 1 or 2 stages before the last boss, you will want to save some of your best DPSs, because some of those bounty fights are a little bit tricky. So if you have saved like a Neverlet or something like that, or just like a good DPS in general, try to have that, because they're pretty tanky and they take a bit of time to kill. So I would highly recommend to save some good stuff for this. You can see here, they don't take that much damage, and even with my Neverlet, it's gonna be a bit slow actually. And you see, like, already took, I mean, it's a strong Neverlet here. He has Constellation, so even then we didn't kill it like super fast. And now for the Swanee, you want at least 1 cryo character, and after you freeze the boss, you want either some Electro or Kazuha or something like that to plunge. So here, for example, Risley is gonna be pretty good for the last boss. With Kazuha can do Bono Cryo actually even, so I'll do Yansan. Yeah, basically the mechanic here is when the boss infuses Hydro, you just apply Cryo to freeze it, and then you break the Cryo with either some plunge attack, some Claymore, or something like that. Like here, charge attack of Risley can shatter, and then easy. And you can see with the blessings, I deal so much damage. My Kaya did 50k, what the hell? You see, I'm doing more damage than if I had Escort in my team. It's kind of crazy. And then, oh my god, 160k! Thanks to the blessing. Holy moly, that was crazy. And yeah, that's basically it for this quick Imaginarium Theater overview. Let me know if you have any more questions. I think this one is pretty easy, honestly. Like, the blessings are pretty cool and pretty strong, and the bosses are not too complicated. So yeah, good luck with your clear. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave a comment, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.